We're here at Scott County High School. Fast forward through the commercial break. Now the game's over. Longest commercial break of all time. We're here on the court. Andrew Wiggins is behind us. He had 17 points tonight. Is signing some autographs. There are 700 people, Mark, in line. This is an hour and a half after the game. He's still sitting there signing autographs. I think this is probably not the last time he's going to do this.
I don't think so. It takes me back to my high school days. Long lines, autographs.
In the port, right? The port, that's what they call it.
Newport.
Right? After the game, we talked with Huntington Prep coach Rob Fulford as well as Andrew Wiggins about his performance, about his interest in Kentucky, and what he needs to work on before he gets to college. Here's what they had to say.
I don't really know who I play like, but I just like I can shoot the ball. I'm better at getting to the basket. I can find my own teammate, and I think I can dominate the ball and dominate the game without having the ball in my hands.
He's very quiet. We do shell drill every day where you've got to yell and scream, and he's just very quiet and doesn't say much. But he's a good kid, and I think the main thing with him is he's just humble, and he's very reserved. He kind of looks over everything, and then when he's comfortable, he'll open up. But and on the court, and maybe the crowd had something to do with that, as far as him not wanting to communicate. But he's like that though. But we know when push comes to shove, he'll turn it on.
Well, it's an honor to be ranked #1. But I know other people are coming for my spot, so I just gotta keep working hard every day in practice, and just keep playing my game. Staying humble. I know that any day life can be cut short, so I just stay praising God and hoping I stay healthy. Everything I do.
He understands. I mean, he was at the Carolina game up here last year, so he gets it. I mean, he understands that it's kind of rock star status, and Jay-Z and Drake and all the guys are around. So he understands that, and I think it helps in recruiting because it's different, and he knows the difference between Florida State and Kentucky, and I think he knows that as far as the fans and the level of attendance and things like that. So he understands all that.
Well, it's a basketball school. The fans, so they support you. The atmosphere every game is crazy. They treat you like rock stars there, and the coaching staff is great. It's just a great atmosphere to be in.
He's just got to understand that. And I've told him this over and over. At no point in Michael Jordan's career was he ever told to play hard, ever. And I think that's just one of the things that Andrew's got to understand is that when people pay to see him play, they want to see him dominate. And I think shot wasn't falling, and he's such a lockdown defender that sometimes he doesn't bring it as much. And in fairness, I mean, it's tough for him to guard a 6'1", 6-foot point guard too. So he does what he can do. But as far as his defensive effort, sometimes he needs to pick it up a little bit.
People say I tend to take breaks on the court, so it's always working hard. Always just putting all my effort into playing both offense and defense.
And Mark, you hear Andrew Wiggins, great talent, maybe the best talent people say since LeBron James, the first player really compares to him, but doesn't push himself. As Coach said, they never had to tell Michael Jordan to try hard. Yeah. Surprise you a little bit, a guy that talented, coasting some?
It does. It surprised me, but high school, a high school game,
yeah.
If I had Calipari in the stands, I don't know how, I'd be kind of just flabbergasted. I would just be looking at the stands the whole time. But, he played well. When he showed signs of crazy athleticism. Yeah. He can shoot the ball lights out.
Right.
He's got a pretty complete game.
And speaking of Cal, I don't want to embarrass you, but we were staying up there. I said, hey, you want to run over there and say hi to Cal? You're like, nah. That's how big time you are now. You came back from Hollywood. You're like,
Coach
nah.
No, I love him. He had the whole gates around him. He had the whole thing, cops up there.
Yeah. Well, one of the things Wiggins said was about what they asked, what does Calipari say to you? He tells me that if I came to Kentucky, we'd be unstoppable, dominant, the greatest recruiting class of all time. Do you think these elite players, that's important? We see LeBron James and Dwayne Wade getting together, and it's happened some at Kentucky. Do you think that's really something that these guys want, is to play with all these great players?
I think they're just seeing history the last 3 years in the draft.
Yeah.
You're seeing a bunch of guys go in the first round from teams that are great teams. They're not just great individuals. And I think they're seeing that. And Coach Callaway says when the tide rises, all the boats rise. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think guys want to play on the same team as other great players because if you win championships, if you're in the spotlight, you get to your dreams a little bit faster and probably even better than you would if you went to a small school or not as great as Kentucky. If you went to a mid-major Division I and were the stud, I think you go a lot further if you're with a team full of great players.
And that's why you're here, because you're raising the tide. The rest of us are coming up with you. That's why we're happy you're back.
Hey, Coach Cal taught me something.